Sagittarius. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for April of 2022. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
I'm Julia Mijas in San Francisco.
Well, Sag, this month's horoscope brings the focus to your home and family life. And if this horoscope brings up questions for you, a natal and transit reading could give you the answers that you seek about home life and how to have a better one and better relationships with family members. You'll find a link for that reading in the YouTube description below. I want to start off with the moons, which isn't usual, but there's a lot to talk about because we have 3 moons to discuss. The first one actually happened on March 31st, but we're still reverberating with it here in the beginning of the month, and we didn't report it last month, so let's get into it. The new moon appears right here in Aries in your 5th house, bringing attention to the arena of fun and play, games, children, performance, self-discovery, self-actualization. A new moon often brings new beginnings, a fresh start. This particular moon has a lot of communication themes with it. We're calling this one honest words and clear intentions because of the proximity of Mercury in Aries. So under this new moon, definitely have fun, go to your gaming group, go for your usual form of play. And recognize that your mind may be sharper than usual, which is a good thing, but your words may also be sharper than usual too. So watch out for that. The next moon I want to tell you about is coming on the 16th. This is a full moon in Libra, which falls in your 11th house, opposite that sun in your 5th. The 11th house is a house of community and friends, tribe groups, also long-term goals. And this is a very relational moon because it's in Libra. It brings in themes of intimacy because Pluto is involved, but Pluto's involvement may bring intensity, emotional drama, strong feelings, and may bring you into conflict with friends or people in your social groups. It's a good thing that Saturn and Juno are here to smooth the way with some better social behavior. So this moon is happening on the 16th, and I think it would be good to pay close attention to the groups that you spend time with under this full moon. The third moon I want to tell you about is coming at the end of the month. It's on the 30th. You can find out about all these moons on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology. The one on the 31st of March, you'll find in the March news playlist. And then, of course, the April ones are in the April playlist. This is the final moon of the month. It's a new moon in Taurus in your 6th house, which is the arena of work, health, service, and personal organization. This isn't just any new moon, though. It's an eclipse. Eclipses are times when we are forced to look at our shadow, that stuff that we don't look at every day, and that we kind of wish would go away on its own without us having to pay attention to it, although it rarely does. An eclipse, especially a solar eclipse, is a time when your shadow can be just right up in your face. And during a solar eclipse, it will show through how you behave. So mark it on your calendar around April 30th, especially for the days surrounding that date. Watch your behavior at work because you will be planting seeds whether you know it or not, and let them be good ones, not bad ones. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are going to be doing some stuff. Hey, Julia, what's that?
Oh, well, Sagittarius, so much going on this month, especially with Mercury, because Mercury is moving through 3 houses, which is like a lot. That's about a quarter of the whole zodiac. At the very beginning of the month, Mercury, the planet of communication and mentation, starts in your 5th house. And it's just there for the first few days of the month. And the 5th house is the house of fun, games, diversions. Now, what's most important to notice about this transit is that on April 2nd, Mercury will be exactly conjoined the sun while in your fifth house. And when it's exactly conjoined the sun, this is known as Greater Epiphany Day. And this happens a number of times of year, and it happens to actually bookend Mercury retrograde cycles too. So Mercury, this Greater Epiphany Day is a day where people can gain insights and aha moments. It's kind of like the opposite of a retrograde season where everything kind of slows down and gets confused and miscommunications arise. When Mercury is moving fast, all the Mercury related things like thinking, communication, technology, writing actually tend to go pretty well. So on this April 2nd, when Mercury closely conjoins that sun in your fifth house, you could be gaining some insights and clarification in all fifth house matters. The fifth house is the house of games and fun. So maybe you get some insight about a hobby you have, a creative project you're working on, or maybe something you want to work on next. The fifth house also rules your children. So maybe you get some insights over there. Maybe you're trying to figure out whether you even want to have a kid or not, and all of a sudden it clicks. And Mercury in the fifth house with this Greater Epiphany Day, you know, the fifth house is also the house of dating. So maybe you get some insight about somebody you're dating too around this time. Now, by April 10th, Mercury's going to move into your sixth house, and it's going to be there for most of the month, about 19 days. So I want to really kind of cover this in a little more detail. The sixth house is a work house. It represents the people you work with, like clients, coworkers, your boss. It also represents your work environment, and it can also represent habits, routines, rituals, like making coffee, going to the gym, and you know, taking your medicine every day. And the sixth house is also a service-based house and has a lot to do with organization. So with Mercury in the sixth, this is actually a really good time to get organized. You know, your mind could be on strategizing and just kind of planning things a lot better to sort of make all your systems in your life work more efficiently, like your closet and your hard drive. Mercury in the sixth can also be a time of increased communication at work, even a little bit more busyness at work because Mercury is so fast moving. It's a very busy planet. And Mercury in the sixth house can be a good time to sort of have your mind think about your health and routines better. You know, maybe you need to come up with some health strategy or put together some better routines that really, really support you on a day-to-day level. Then by the 29th, Mercury enters your seventh house of partnership, and it's only going to be there for a couple of days this month. It's really the whole bulk of the transit's going to be taking place next month. So we'll cover that one in a lot more depth in our next video. So stay tuned for that. Now we get to move on to Venus, which is the planet of art, beauty, and relationships. Everybody loves Venus because wherever she is usually where you get a little luck and pleasure. And most people generally like that stuff. So Venus starts the month in your third house. It's just there for a few days, maybe making your relationships with your siblings a bit more harmonious and getting along better with your neighbors. Then by April 5th, Venus moves into your fourth house, and she's going to stay there for the rest of the month. Now, fourth house is the house of family and home. It's going to be a little busy for you this month because Mars is going to join in there in just a moment. I'll get to that in a second. But with Venus in the fourth house, it's a really nice time for getting along with your family. You know, that doesn't always happen. You know, sometimes during holidays or whatever, your family can drive you crazy. But this is a good month for kind of smoothing over stuff, getting along well, call your mom, spend some time with family, and things go kind of nicely. Venus in the fourth is also a wonderful time for, you know, doing things for your home to make your home a better place for you, whether that's painting a room or buying some nice luxury item for your home. But you can make your home a lot more pleasurable. And this is kind of a homebody transit in a lot of ways too. Now, Mars, the planet of action and activity, starts the month in your third house of communication, and it's going to be there for the first 14 days. So with Mars in the third house for 14 days of the first 14 days of the month, it can be a time where you might be a little bit sharper with your communication. You might sort of stand up for yourself more with your words than you usually do. And since the third house can represent like short journeys and even your local surroundings, you might find yourself running around town and doing a lot of errands, maybe taking a lot of little trips the first few weeks of the month too. Then by April 14th, Mars is going to move into your fourth house along with Venus, who's I mentioned earlier is in here. Now with Mars in the fourth, wherever we have Mars is where we can be very driven. So you might find that you're really energized by being at home, like you feel like there's a lot of stuff to do and you're getting out a lot of activity on the home front. Mars in the fourth house can sometimes bring conflict into the home space. However, since Venus is in there, I think that she's adding too much harmony for that to really be an issue. However, I think the best combination we have with Mars and Venus in the fourth house for you this month is maybe doing lots of home projects, especially ones that make your house prettier in some way, because Mars is most constructive in the fourth house if you're getting your energy out instead of picking fights with people around you. So yeah, like it's good to do some home improvement, paint some rooms, move some furniture around, and make your home a lot prettier in March.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about Juno. We don't talk about Juno. Goes through my head sometimes because we have a dog named Juno, and
So
of
cute.
course, you know, if there's a Disney movie, we've seen it.
Daughter in there too.
And also, I'm crazy into Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's so freaking brilliant.
Cool.
Okay, but moving on, Juno. We're going to talk about Juno. Juno starts the month in Aquarius. She's been there for quite some time. She moves rather slowly, usually spends a couple of months in each sign. And I talked about this extensively in our February horoscope for Sagittarius. So you would probably want to go and check that out on our YouTube channel. But what I do want to say is that she is moving into Pisces this month around the 20th. There she goes into Pisces, and Juno's going to be traveling through the fourth house and in Pisces in a retrograde and direct pattern for pretty much the rest of the year. So because Juno is going to go retrograde in this house, it's really worth starting to think ahead about what this is going to be like. Juno is about committed relationship, partnership, and wherever she goes, she asks, how is this area of life impacted by my committed relationships or within my committed relationships? And so, because the fourth house has to do with home and family life, you may well be asking yourself, you know, how is my marriage doing as a domestic partnership? You know, or, well, my partner and I have been living together for some time. Do we want to get more serious or not? So this is really going to land for you in the realm of home and how committed relationship flies in that realm. So it's not really going to be very pointed until Juno actually goes retrograde, and we're still not that close to that. But I just wanted to let you know this because it's popping up on the horizon. The next thing I want to talk about is the seasonal change. Here we have the sun has just left Aries, moving into Taurus as of the 20th. The sun spends about 30 days per sign, and it's moved into the sixth house, which is the arena of health, work, service, and personal organization. And the sun is a life-giving energy in our solar system. It's what makes it possible for us to live here on Earth, this garden planet. And that's because sunshine nourishes us. And so wherever the sun goes in the chart, you know, by extension, by metaphor, you can shed the light of your life-giving attention and cause things to flourish in that arena. So I strongly advise you spend the month of Taurus from April 20th to about May 20th, paying attention to and cultivating and, you know, bringing to a flourishing state the state of organization in your home, the state of organization in your workplace, your work processes, your you know, ways of occupying yourself, and your health rhythms and routines too. The last thing I want to tell you about is the transit of Pluto. Pluto is moving along through Capricorn. Pluto has been in Capricorn for more than 14 years, and so that's nothing new. But Pluto goes retrograde every year and spends several months retrograde, and this is about to begin. It begins on the 29th. There you see the little red RX symbol is. And wherever Pluto goes, he brings death and rebirth, transformation, and metamorphosis. Pluto has been working in your financial realm for about 14 years and bringing that form of transformation, possibly causing some pretty big financial messes for you. Bringing stuff up to the surface that maybe you wish wasn't there, buried and hidden, but also giving you opportunities to be reborn financially. And this year, if you are having a Pluto transit to a specific planet or point in your chart, then you'd probably want to be tracking this. And to help you, I've put a link for our Pluto page in the YouTube description below. And that can help you to figure out if you are having a Pluto transit that maybe you should be tracking, and what to do about it if you do. Well, that's what we have for you today, Sag. And you can always find your horoscope on our website, pandoraastrology.com, in the horoscope tab. If you do want to get a reading with one of us, we'd love to see you. And you can find those in the readings tab on our website. And we also offer classes as well. Until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye.